This is Steve Roby coming to you from the Big Island of Hawaii, and you're listening to Songs and Stories. Aloha. On today's episode, I'll be at the Palace Theater in Hilo, speaking with the crew that produces a weekly video series called Live from the Empty Palace. While all of the island's large theaters still remain closed due to the pandemic, the Palace decided to produce videos featuring musicians performing two of their top songs in an empty auditorium. The concept was co-conceived by the husband and wife team writer-producer Zoe Eisenberg and Hilo Palace Theater's executive director Phillips Payson, as well as musician Drew Daniels. Daniels performed his original Find Our Way in the first episode. Let's give that a listen to now.
My name is Drew Daniels. This is a song called Find Our Way, live from the Empty Palace. I've been thinking for a long time, you and me, this is our time. And I know we have our hard times, but we need to live each day like it's borrowed time. Trying to be strong, be patient, trying to live up to your expectations. Hold space without being vacant, show more respect to my inspirations. Some days I feel the weight of the world when I see the face of my baby girl. Path's uncertain and that's okay, trust eventually we'll find our way. We will find our way, yeah. We will find our way. We will find our way. We will find our way. I may counsel with future and past versions of a man that I pretend to understand like a bleeding heart in a VR program. My senses can't come to consensus. What's real in this life? Is this life our life sentence? Should I collect coins, create worlds, fight wars, shoot for high scores to save my girl? Choose your own path, choose your character. Autobiography rules don't apply to me. Inside of me, I'm in the world of Warcraft, trying to be a peaceful beast, keep losing sleep cause of politicians and police. Next generation knows better. Intuitives, indigos, innovators, go-getters, permaculturalists, communitarians and activists, hackers, backpackers, anti-capitalists, artists, writers, musicians and makers. It's not being given to us, we need to take it. Do what you love and mean what you say. Trust that together we will find our way. We will find our way, yeah. We will find our way. We will find our way, yeah. We will find our way. We are the energy we harness. We are the fruit of the harvest. And when we get buried deep, we are the roots and the sea. See the light and dark in each day. Stay clear of the he said, she said, hearsay. Stay focused when the smoke clears. Now's the only time worth noticing. This magic's potent. Pills and potions, curses in the words spoken. Spelling out control, dictating emotions. The collectives been collected, fooled and ruled by the illusion of self-held elections. Contaminated, controlled, confused and conflicted. Convoluted, consumed by it, constantly constricted. It's contagious. Yeah, this shit's outrageous. Our country's keeping kids in cages, keep turning the pages. Evolution's expedited, things happen in stages. It's okay to be excited, it's the ride of your life, it's the time of your life. Keep your eye to the sky, keep your wings spread wide. Play, meditate, exercise and pray. Do what you love and mean what you say. Sometimes we get lost, sometimes we stray. Trust, eventually we'll find our way. We will find our way, yeah. We will find our way. 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 Yes, we will. We will find our way. We will find our way. We will find our way.
That was Drew Daniels doing Find Our Way. The following is an interview I conducted at the Palace Theater with Zoe Eisenberg, Philip Paysons, and Drew Daniels, the creators of the new Empty Palace video series. It was done after the crew had finished a 4-hour session with 2 musical acts and a narrativist.
My name is Zoe Eisenberg. I'm a writer, producer, director based out of Kalapana.
My name is Phillips Payson. I am the executive director at the Hilo Palace Theater, and I'm also a filmmaker based out of Kalapana.
My name is Drew Daniels. I am a singer, songwriter, producer, co-producer of this series, currently living in Popayco.
So tell me how the concept came together for Live at the Empty Palace.
Came about from a series of conversations, actually. First starting with me and Phillips, trying to figure out how to keep ourselves busy during COVID. We had, like everyone, we had a lot we were looking forward to that got wiped away, and just trying to figure out how to keep our community activated and make use of the theater space. And then from there, I had a separate conversation with Drew, similar conversation, kind of springboarded the idea we were thinking about, and then Drew actually came up with the name, and from there, we went on, and Drew was actually our first artist that we recorded.
How many shows have you done so far?
We just shot our 27th episode, and we've been shooting 3 artists per session, 2 songs each, which we then release into separate episodes every Wednesday.
Have you heard any feedback? I know the musicians just love the opportunity to get on stage and perform once again. The guys today were just like, they had their 2 songs, but they wanted to just keep playing.
Yeah, I think that's been the consistent theme. Everyone's just like kind of comes in a little bit nervous because we haven't been playing, and then all of a sudden it's just like it's like riding a bicycle. It feels great, Everyone's just like, oh man, I really needed that, that release, but that performing release. So it's been a really awesome opportunity to be able to provide that for the arts community, not just music. We've had juggler and aerialists. We're working with spoken word artists and looking into comedians and a full array of the arts here on the Big Island.
I noticed you have the theater lit, so you can, just for those that haven't seen the video series, the performers are performing with their backs with the audience that's not there behind them, empty seats.
So we're shooting from the stage into the auditorium to really showcase the beauty of the Palace Theater being such a historical landmark in the community that means so much to so many people, both musicians, performers, and families that have been coming here for generations now to enjoy films and live shows and concerts. And just to piggyback off the direct artist enthusiasm with the series, like the community has really responded really well. We're growing our following, and people are looking forward to each episode coming out, and just the general enthusiasm of having that means of connection these days is so needed. And just the Palace is just such a community hub, and we're just like redefining what that means under quarantine and how we can't host physical gatherings right now, but we're still, cultivating the sense of community out here, and it's really important, and to just foster those bonds with people, and it's been really gratifying to provide that space.
How much further do you want to continue the series?
Forever.
We have plans to keep on keeping on, and we'd like to make the productions a little bit bigger once the regulations lift. We already have, like our first couple episodes were only 3 people. We all were wearing masks. It was also, right at the beginning of COVID, and now we have, a larger team and a little bit more flexibility. So, once hopefully put the pandemic in our rearview mirror, whenever that will be, we'd like to expand a little bit larger.
Do you think, I know everybody's in the dark about this, but is there hope that the theater might return to some sort of normalcy in the near future? Or?
In terms of normalcy for the theater, yes, there is definitely hope. We're in active development right now on what a soft reopening effort will look like for the next couple months. We're going to start off with limited film engagement screenings, social distance theaters. We're going to rope off every other seat, we're going to rope off every other row, and each party will take their own row and provide ample space for people to stay apart from each other. Masks will be enforced. We're taking this time while we're dark to do a big sterilization effort, cleaning out the whole theater. We're doing a lot of construction right now and renovation projects that have been in the works for a long time, so the quarantine has kind of worked to our benefit in that sense. Being dark, we've mounting a whole facade restoration right now with scaffolding and things we couldn't do with an audience around. So we're making the most of this difficult time. Yeah, still trying to figure out how we can get back to big gatherings and big productions again.
Any plans to do something like here in the lobby? Is it too soon for that? Or?
The lobby is a little more complicated because it's a smaller space. We would be a lot more limited than what we would for the auditorium. We've got 500 seats in the auditorium, so a limited capacity in there is still, 50 or 100 people. We have a lot more flexibility to do that. What we are talking about are hybrid virtual live audience events, so people could stream in from home with a smaller audience in the auditorium itself. We're figuring out the hurdles of what that means technologically versus what we're capable of, what kind of investments we need to make with community or local partnerships and stuff like that.
What's the best way for folks to watch the video series?
Well, every Wednesday we release a new episode via Facebook, the Hilo Palace Theater, and also on YouTube, on the Palace Theater's YouTube page as well. Like and subscribe. Comment below who you would like to see perform. We've got a wealth of performers here, so it's been great to connect and to showcase the different talent from this island.
I must applaud you for what you're doing. It's a fabulous idea. It's a shame none of the other big theaters on the island have done something like this. I thought they would kick in too with their own creativity. Thanks for being unique about that idea.
This is an entirely volunteer-run effort, which is also something that makes it unique. And I think it's unique in that our team, all three of us, are artists in our own right, and we're all very activated by our community. So I think that's really why the three of us came together. I mean, Phillips and I are married, but that's why we, immediately thought of Drew. Is like, who are other artists that are gratified by lifting up their community?
I feel really energized with every shoot we do. For me personally, this has been a huge crash course in just the music scene out here on Big Island. Every week, I'm coming across new artists. New artists are reaching out and sharing their work with us, and we want to provide the stage and this opportunity and the space for everybody we can, and just keep it going. Even, like we said earlier, even long after this pandemic is over, we would love to continue this series, continue sharing the voice of our community, and hopefully broaden our horizons and broaden our reach and start interacting with traveling acts and mainland folks and really show what Big Island and Hawaii has to offer.
And we'd also love for it to become the kind of thing that once COVID passes and travel reopens, that when artists are passing through Hilo or passing through the Big Island, that they reach out to us and we can feature them. So that's also something that we're really looking forward to.
Yeah, and I mean it's very much a product of our time right now, a product of quarantine, a product of COVID. Like, we wouldn't be doing this series without the limitations. And speaking as an artist who kind of thrives in limitations, this has gotten me through, gotten us through, and it's been a real guiding point for the theater right now. So I'm happy to continue it.
Like you said, it's the parameters kind of force creativity. So this emerged from something, from the constraints of the virus, but I could see this going on for as long as the Palace is willing to host it. And I know that everybody that's been a part of it has been charged by it. Like Zoe pointed out, everyone's doing this on a volunteer basis, but it's an excuse to get out and do something creative with your friends, and it's really it's a beautiful thing. I'm grateful to be a part of it with y'all.
In honor of June 19th, Drew Daniels was part of an hour-long music session and discussion about police brutality, Black Lives Matter, and COVID-19. Let's listen to an excerpt from that June 19th conversation at the Palace Theater, and then we'll conclude with our interview with Eisenberg, Payson, and Daniels.
I feel like now more than ever, it's important for people to come together and start doing that societal shadow work, and start doing, start listening, start learning, start feeling, start embracing those feelings, start acknowledging things, our privileges, and moving through those things. And those are the steps, that we can start to get back to even. Republican or Democrat, or if you think that the earth is flat, pagan or an atheist, today Judeo-Christian Satanist, black or white or gray or striped, gay or straight or undefined. Time is now, we must unite. The time is now, we must unite in united states of consciousness. In united states of consciousness. We see through your division, politics and religion. We won't stand for your hatred, the ignorant or the racist. Black and white and gray and striped, gay and straight and undefined. The time is now, we must unite. The time is now, we must unite in united states of consciousness. 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 This is a reclamation of control, unification, mind and soul, connecting reflections eternal, connecting reflections internal. This is a reclamation of control, unification, mind and soul, connecting reflections eternal, connecting reflections internal. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. Yo, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. Yo, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. Yo, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. You can call it universe or call it Krishna, call it Allah, call it Jesus Cristo, call it Yahweh, call it Jah, call it a vibration or the matrix or the stars, call it the beginning or the end, call it so far. You can call it spirit, call it source, call it God, call it energy, call it being, call it love, call it Mother Earth or Father above. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. No, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. No, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. 'Cause we could use all the help we can get right now. We could use all the help we can get right now. 'Cause we could use all the help we can get right now. 'Cause we could use all the help we can get right now. No, I don't care what you call it, call on it now. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. I don't care what you call it, call on it now. Call on it now.
All right, Drew Daniels, United States of Consciousness. That was a sample from the Juneteenth event at the Palace Theater with Drew Daniels. Let's resume our conversation with Eisenberg, Payson, and Daniels discussing their video series, Live from the Empty Palace. unlike a regular live show, when it's done, you're done, on to the next show. The journey doesn't stop here. Now you have to go home or back to your studio and process all this and put it all together, make it sound good, make it look good, edit it, right? I mean, that's the next step, and then get it out to the public too. So I'm not sure the viewer appreciates all that goes into this project too, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Phillips is our editor, so that's all him. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I encourage everybody to, instead of maybe watching a movie on Netflix one night, you can sit down and watch a playlist on YouTube or on Facebook, put it on the Roku box, and just tune in and just watch the whole series as it develops, because it's a really great array, and it's been a great diverse group of people. So it's cool to see, who's creating here on this island.
Yeah, and at this moment we have 10 episodes released, all very different artists from each other. So the playlist is an absolute joy to watch through and to listen through. It's high quality. We're producing it well. And the next 20 episodes that we have in the can already are fantastic. And every artist who shows up week after week is so different than the last one and so new, and they're all offering this such unique perspective and this new unique voice. We're baffled and inspired.
A few years ago, I used to say, and it embarrasses me now that I used to say it, but when people were like, what's the music scene like out on Big Island? And I'd be like, oh, it's reggae, mostly. It's reggae. And I was just so wrong. I mean, it is reggae, but it's so much more. And so that's really been a gift to me. And Drew finds a lot of our artists, because he's really tapped into the music scene, and Pepe, who runs our sound, who we also need to, of course, give a big shout out to, because we could not do what we're doing without Pepe. But yeah, it's just been amazing. So I'm just really grateful to be able to have those kinds of experiences, sitting 6 feet away from just these really talented individuals that I just had no idea were living on the same rock as me. So I'm really excited about that.
Thank you for what you do. I really appreciate your time and letting me be a part of the thing today.
Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
Steve.
Okay, we're done. Yay. All right, that concludes our interview with Payson, Eisenberg, and Daniels. Live from the Empty Palace video series is a great way to explore Big Island's diverse talents, especially during these extraordinary times. You can find a link to their YouTube channel in the show description below. Thanks so much for joining us today. You can leave us a comment that might be included in a future episode by following the link in the show description. This program is a production of Big Island Music Magazine. Find us on the web at bigislandmusic.net and follow us on Facebook. I'm Steve Roby, and this is Songs and Stories.